in your opinion, what are some of the common misconceptions about executive presence that you've perhaps observed, and how can other women or individuals work to overcome those?
I see people, particularly when they're starting off and maybe they haven't got a mentor or a coach to sort of give them feedback, they often think it's the person who speaks the most, who is the loudest in the room. And yet, when you observe the really great people, they're often the quietest, they're humble, they're very curious because they already know what they know. What they want to learn is, what does everyone else in the room know? Therefore, asking beautiful questions, listening to understand where the other person's coming from, because we all have different perspectives. And just taking the time to not just showcase what they know, but showcase what others know, because they know that that's where the great answers come from. So I think when we make it about ourselves, that's often we're fearful, and we all are fearful as we start out. It's recognizing, actually, if we want to have that great executive presence, we're already confident in what we know. What we're curious about is what we don't know, what others in the room know, and therefore taking the time to ask those questions, listen to the replies, to broaden our understanding and also bring others in on the conversation.
Allow people to come to you.
Yes.
But I guess that also goes back to, when you're going into that scenario where you need to be able to be a great leader, it's having the presence, so having the visual presence that they feel immediately really comfortable with you, that they can trust you and that they're going to be open to, having conversations with you. And then, yes, just being that observer first and just sort of hearing what's going on and inviting people to actually speak and then acquiring that knowledge. Yeah. I know, I think we've probably both seen examples of people wanting to make it all about them and talking all about them and what they do and how wonderful they are, which sometimes can be a turn-off.
Yes, correct. Yep. There's a lovely thing I learned when I was doing my coaching qualifications. If you think that's you, there's this acronym WAIT, and WAIT stands for Why Am I Talking? And so it's a really good, I know, I love it, because if you're more extroverted, you often process through talking. And when you're nervous, you will become less aware of how long you are talking. So I really like that as just a gentle reminder. Yeah, why am I talking? What's my intention? And I think when I see people with great presence, they're very intentional when they speak, versus when we're learning, until we realize it's not about me, it's about understanding the room, we take too much time talking if we're a little bit more extroverted.
Okay, so it's also about becoming aware of your personality style as well.
Correct. Yes.
And how to manage that personality style to assimilate with other people, because everyone's different.
Yes. Yeah.
Amazing. And look, that's interesting because, when we do, bringing a little bit of my work here, but when we bring in color analysis and we talk about the personality, how the personalities align with different color directions, then the whole science and the psychology comes into that in terms of, okay, well, if you're very much an extroverted person, you are able to wear much brighter colors and higher contrast of colors together and patterns. But is that applicable to certain scenarios whereby you have to tone it down and provide that sort of space for people to feel like you're not a threat and you can actually come in and have meaningful conversations?
I really like that because, again, it's thinking before you go into the room. How do I, because your clothes in that instance will show that you are more extroverted, etc. What we want to do is then go, okay, but I can also listen.
Yes.
And learn. So I love that.